Hey everyone, this is Brandon Clark and Philip White with Slakker Racing Development. Today we have a 4.1 liter engine that we've rebuilt from a 3.6 for a 997.1. This engine had a spun rod bearing and a Vortex Supercharger. And so we've already got our rebuild done. We've broken the engine in. We've gotten blow-by down to about 6 inches of H2O. We'll expect that to come down just a little bit further as we continue our testing. But now's the fun part. It's time to dial in and tune for the Supercharger. So tell us a little bit about that Supercharger, Philip.
Well, we got a Vortex V3 SC1 from VF Engineering on it. Seems to be a pretty good kit. And we are going to just see what we can get out of it with our 4.1 build.
Yeah, this Supercharger puts out about 6 PSI of boost, and so we're kind of thinking it's going to come in. What do you think? What are you betting?
I would say 520 to 540.
Okay, I'm going to go a little bit lower than that. I'm going to shoot for 510 to 515, and anyway, it'll be fun to see how it comes out.
Sure will.
All right, let's get started.
Let's go. All right.
So while he's dialing that up, I'm going to go into the dyno room, check water, and check how everything starts up. So right now we have all the water systems opened up, and we're running fresh water through the engine, making sure we get all the air bubbles out as it's coming up to temp. And we're going to be monitoring our IATs here, our intake air temps. The Supercharger, as it compresses the air, is going to increase the temperature of it. And so we have an intercooler hooked up to help offset that or dissipate some of that heat. And then we're also going to be paying attention to our coolant temperature, which is going to be a product of the dyno cycling water through the heat exchanger once we close off the system. And then oil temps, of course, are always a big one for us to pay attention to. From there, what are the few of the other things we're going to be watching, Philip?
We're always, during tuning, we always pay attention to our NOx sensors, our fuel trims, our AFs, air fuel ratios, and just listen for anything that sounds abnormal. That your senses, when you're doing these things, can tell you a lot.
We're also going to start off with a little lower ignition timing. What's interesting about the ignition timing, if we get it too high, of course, that can produce more power, but you go beyond that, and then you start getting some knock. But what did we see the other day as we were testing out a new standalone ECU for us? What did we see? What happens when the ignition is too retarded?
You overheat the exhaust pipes, and you blow all your ignition right out into the exhaust.
Yeah, so as the flame front is still spreading, as the exhaust valve opens, that pushes that flame front down into the intake manifold, and those suckers can go red hot.
Yes, they can.
Yes, yes. I thought they were going to melt off the other day, but luckily they were okay.
Yeah.
So. And then the other big one for us, of course, is air-to-fuel ratio. Sometimes that's measured in lambda. Which is a percentage of the stoichiometric value, which for gasoline is 14.7, is considered the stoic air-to-fuel ratio. And so if a lambda of 90.90, that means it's 90% of that. Or we also have on our dyno screen here the actual AFR, air-to-fuel ratio. So we run 2 different sets of air-to-fuel AFR sensors. Really, that fuel mixture is one of probably the 2 or 3 most important values that we've got. It lets us know that we're properly mixing and burning the fuel as we would expect.
Oh, I'm going to go shut it in. It's not warming up.
Yep, we're going to now shut in the water on the kind of like a manual thermostat for us, and let us start building some heat. So right here fire my spark timing table up along kind of this watt area. I'm going to drop the timing down to about 19 to 20. May need to take a little bit more out of it. That may be a little aggressive for a supercharged build. For some early, just dial-in runs. We don't want to push it too hard. We just want to see that we've got our volumetric efficiency table correct so that we're getting the right amount of fueling for our target air-to-fuel ratio. And so we're not really trying to push all the power we can yet. We're just trying to watch that the values are running as expected, meaning that we've got the ECU tuned in and calibrated properly. Our ECU for this one is the Motec M130. Currently, this is our favorite ECU for working on the dyno and tuning, but we've got others that we work with, including stock ECUs, as well as we've been doing some testing with the ECU Masters Pro 8 lately, and starting to get some pretty decent results from it.
Yes. Did we increase the tables on that one as well?
No, we did not import this table yet.
Okay.
Good call.
Yeah. So, get that one imported. We should be good to go, I think.
And because this is a boosted build, we're going to go with a much lower AFR, i.e. a richer mixture. And we're going to use a little more fuel than we need, and that excess fuel will help us keep those cylinder walls cooler and help decrease the probability of getting any type of detrimental knock in the system.
Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and add a little RPM.
Okay, here we go. I'm working on it.
Then I'm going to put on our knock headphones, and that way I can hear not only the sound of the valve train and the lifters ticking, but it will also give me an audible signal if we get any knock or pre-detonation.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh.
And what Philip's doing is, the dyno is essentially a giant water pump, and it has a small reservoir and just pumps water from one side of that reservoir to the other. And then we have a valve on it that allows us to control the load. And so our Superflow 902 engine dyno allows us to base that load on a percentage of the valve being closed, or we can base it on the target RPM. And so currently we have it set at what, 3,000?
Yes.
RPM, so we can hit the throttle as much as we want and we won't go over 3,000 RPM. Whoa. Okay, that looked pretty clean. I had one fuel trim that was pulling about 10 that I wanted to do just a little bit of proactive dialing on. So right about there, in between, we're adding some fuel, so I think that's going to be more down on this one, so we need to get that up a little quicker from there.
Okay.
So I'm going to bump that up, or I'm just going to. Okay, let's see if we can push it a little higher on up. Ease into it. Okay, and we saw it again. We were running a little low on fuel. efficiencies. We've got, we were doing our reboot, we lost our efficiency table that we were using.
Oh, we did, didn't we? Oh, I thought it was still there. And you just imported the other one above it, over it. There it is.
All right.
Oh, okay.
That looks fun.
Yeah. Oh, I know it was. You didn't send it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I smell smoke. It smells like it's coming from outside.
Huh?
Smoke, like someone's grilling or a fire burning.
You want to go double check the engine?
Yeah, better. I think it's outside though, because the door's open.
Can never be too careful.
That's right.
I think one of the key things or the most important traits to have when we're doing this is somewhere between caution and outright paranoia.
And everything checked out good.
All right, I need to bump this up a little bit. All right, let's see how she's rolling. Ease on in.
Oh.
Okay, that went pretty well. And all I'm doing right now is we're just going up through some cells and just checking that our trims are looking good. Generally, we want to keep our trims single digit. Here, we've got it dialed in within a couple of percentage points, which is pretty darn good. All right. Keep working it in.
All right. Actually, that's pretty good.
Look good. We're not seeing any signs of knock. What was our manifold pressure there? So we got up to 107 kPa.
About a pound of boost. Half a pound.
Half a PSI.
Half a PSI boost. Yeah, we're getting.
What is our Barrow 28? So we're probably running about a 97 kPa atmospheric, so that's going to be 10 kPa or about 1.4 psi of boost there. So making progress. I thought our trims looked pretty good. I've got one area early on that I wanted to adjust.
And so, you know, if we have already done an engine like this, we wouldn't have to do this process. We'd have a pretty good base map to start with. But since this is our first Charger build with this setup, we have to go through and build our map up so that we don't
Do something stupid.
do something stupid, yes.
Okay.
All right. All right, go up to 3650. Here we go.
Yeah, I got some stuff to adjust there.
So tell me some of the features that you like about this Motec system.
This little auto-tune functionality where I can take it to a particular point in the history that we just ran, where I can actually stop the logging, come in here and see like this trim is 11, double digit fuel trim, adding fuel. So I can come into this part of the table and just hit Q, or W will do 4 squares, Q will do the square. And it'll auto adjust the volumetric efficiency based on the trims that we were seeing. So it makes it a little easier to kind of dial it in on the fly. The other way we can do it is I can see that we've got 8% trim here, or so we're adding 8% more fuel with it at 116 volumetric efficiency, and this is history. And then so I can come back in here, and if I take that up to, we'll say 124, then, well, we got 8 and 5, so I'm going to split the difference between those two. So we'll call it 122, maybe. Then I know that that's going to be pretty spot on for where it wants to be. So then I can come through here, and yeah, no, that looks pretty good. That looks good. Here we're already kind of tweaking that in. It's coming back to me. What's interesting, what do we have the dyno set to?
We have it set to 3650 right now.
Okay, all right, that explains it.
Yes.
I was saying a
little bit of flare up past 3500. Yeah.
Okay, we eased her on up to 108 inlet manifold pressure. So let's keep going.
All right. 3850 is what we're set at now.
Well, I'd like to. Are we getting full throttle?
Oh yeah, all those we're getting full throttle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Ooh. Why did it do that? You see that? Or is that what do you think that was transient? All right. All right. Here we go. Much better.
Okay, now I got a little more aggressive on that one. We got up to 109 PSI at 3,900. So not seeing quite the amount of boost I thought we would see so far.
I think it's just the gear ratio and the supercharger. We haven't spun it up high enough yet. Okay. It's coming though.
Okay, all right. Well, let's keep digging.
All right. 4150, get a little further up in it.
And we got just a little bit of knock there. Let's see what that looked like. So we're a little.
I wonder if that's on the way up. I wonder if that a little bit of transient.
Let's go see what our ignition timing was at 20. Nothing that I'm too concerned about right now. We've got our threshold set for NA. I want to kind of keep it there. Didn't notice anything on the headphones, but wasn't quite really paying super close attention yet. So we're just going to note that and keep going.
All right.
Go back and look at the fuel levels. We're getting just a little thick. Not too bad.
No, not too bad.
Little lane through there. We'll adapt that one out a little bit, and it seems to blend okay. So. All right. Let's see what we got.
All right. Going to 43.
It's looking pretty good.
It is.
I think we got our fueling looks good. Trims look good.
Yeah.
We didn't have any more little knock events. I mean, we're definitely getting a little more knock, but this is really kind of right in that zone. So your peak torque is going to be your peak knock zone, and we really start getting into. What's cool about these engines is with the way they're done with the vario cams and the Vario ram or the intake resonance flap, we really, instead of just having a peak torque point, we've got a nice flat torque curve, and we should really start getting into that about 4,000 RPM. And so kind of that 4,000 to 6,000 is really the area that we're watching for knock in the most generally.
You know, Brandon, I'm glad you brought up the Vario, the resonance flap, because the rumor was that under boost, they're not necessary.
Yeah, we found that out to be a little different, didn't we?
We did find out that that is a little bit different. And so in my history of building engines, for most boosted applications, if it's a benefit in A, it's going to be a benefit in a boosted application as well.
Yeah, we might get a chance to test that this session or the next, in that, you know, we'll typically see about a 25 foot-pound difference between peak torque with and without the resonance flap. And last time we tested that with boost, even though we were up higher in the horsepower range, we saw about a 20 to 25 pound difference with a foot of torque with and without the resonance flap.
Oh, yes. And so it's just like everything else we've researched and done before when it comes to boosted applications. If it's a benefit for NA, it will be a benefit in a boosted application.
Kind of the flip side, though, is a lot of times we can push more power with boost, so maybe we don't have to do as much of the NA adders. We can just add a little bit more boost. But you know, the other side is, no, we try and build the best, most efficient engine we can, and then boost just, you know, amplifies or you know, what we've already done at that point.
Well, it was Enzo Ferrari that said, when they allowed turbochargers into Grand Prix racing, that everybody's going to be able to do whatever they want now, and the people that actually know how to build an engine will be irrelevant.
I don't believe that.
No, but he was not happy with the decision to allow turbocharged engines into the Grand Prix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Ben Strader's the one that said, you know, NA is where all of the art form is.
Yes.
Boost is where all the money is.
Yes. Precisely. Yes.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, let's keep going.
Okay. I'm going to go up to about 46 on this one. Here we go. Dyno lost it.
Okay.
Yep. That was the point. Now we got to turn up our booster valve on the dyno because it let loose.
So we ran out of water on our water brake dyno, and we had the engine spin up on us a little bit.
It's because it hit.
Right when that, right when the boost really started taking off here, it went. Looks like we hit about 120 kPa. So that would be
3.5 pounds.
Yeah, about 3.5 psi boost.
Yep, I'm gonna go change the turn up the booster.
All right.
What do you think, a full turn?
Probably.
In or out?
Open.
Open. Okay.
That's one of probably the biggest downsides to the Superflow 902 is with how it's done, we kind of have to make some adjustments based on the power of the engine that we're testing. Day in and day out with our 3.7s or 4.1 liter builds or a few different varieties in between, we can pretty much keep the dyno set the same. But when we add boost to the equation, we do have to do some tweaking of the load range that the dyno is able to accommodate.
Yeah, where'd it hit at? About 4,200?
We got our spike right at about 5K.
I don't even have it. Oh, it's because it lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about 4,900.
It's going to get more boost at that once we keep the load on it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So I think we're looking pretty good. I haven't had to make any more adjustments on the on our VE table. So this is all looking dialed in pretty well. So why don't we do like a mini pool?
All right. How about a 3 to 5?
3 to 4,500.
3 to 45. You got it.
So we're just going to do a 1,500 RPM pull. We're going to load the dyno up at 3,000 RPMs, release it, let it go to 4,500 at a rate of 600 RPM per second. So this should be about a 2.5 second pull just to start easing our way in.
Yep. I'm gonna go tie that up.
You're gonna burp it?
No, the thing fell whenever we.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't want to get in the belt.
So it looks like we had some of our intake tubing come apart on us. And so that will definitely decrease the boost load.
The only one I didn't check because there's a T-bolt clamp and it popped off.
Okay. Well, make it a little tighter.
Yeah. We were already at 4,500.
Look.
At 45.
Yeah, 384 torque at 4,500 RPM on just a real basic pull.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nah, not at all. I'm gonna go burp it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's try this again.
Yep, let's try that one again.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. What was that?
Whoa. No.
Huh?
I just saw smoke blow out everywhere when I was coming down off of it. It's like it went out the back of the engine. Spun the clutch. The clutch. We spun the clutch. Clutch didn't hold. Let loose. 395, remember? 384, it spun the clutch.
Yeah.
It's rated at 395.
So it is, yeah. So it's really interesting. So we did, I forgot we did have a stock clutch on the dyno for this as kind of part of our normal setup. And it's rated at 395 pounds, the Sachs OEM clutch, foot-pounds of torque. And looks like we got to about 384 foot-pounds of torque before the clutch let loose and spun.
I would say that's pretty accurate.
And so, yeah, I'd say it tested out all right.
Yeah.
So we've got a little work to do. We got to get a little better clutch in place, and then we will resume testing. Yep. All right, so we're back. We've got the clutch changed out. We've been dialing it in a little bit more, and now it's time to get our final power pulls and just see how far we can take this one. Yep. Let's say how far. I think 500 is the target, and I think we're pretty close. Let's see what she's going.
I'll burp it real quick. Okay. I already burped it. Oh, did you?
Yep.
Oh, that's fine. That was weird. Let's make sure the trims are kicked in. We're good there. Okay. But like, how do the cooling get so cool? I cooled it down a little bit. I didn't think I cooled it down that much. So make sure it's not still. It's. Why is the? What? Probably build up a little heat again. Yeah, it's alright. I saw what I figured out. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, yeah, I figured it out. Yeah, I wanted to let it cool down a little bit, but I kind of went a little much. We've done that before, haven't you? Yeah. That's just happens. Better than 230. Yes. Good thing is, once you get her warmed up that first time, she climbs back up pretty quick. Yeah. Heat soaking helps. Yes. Yeah, so it's not a big deal. Everything's looking solid still. Looks fantastic. We did it. Let's not get too cocky. No. Till the end. No. But this is our passion, so we do enjoy a little bit of comedy. Yes. 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 And to say we haven't had our fair share of mess ups, we have. But we've also had some nice successes. Too. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Alright. Fuel at 173, oil at 148. Pretty comfortable with that. Yeah, I have to. Okay. Let's do another pull with where we left off. Okay. Ethanol content looks good after the fill up. And we are good to go. Alright. Not bad. Looks nice. Looks nice. Leveled off. Good one. Yeah. See if she's showing up. 493. So take a little bit of heat out. Lost a little bit of power. And we'll probably see it the next one. At 142 kPa. Inlet pressure again. So once again, just over 6 psi. Yeah. Seeing we didn't hit as high as our KPA didn't go up as high as that last pull, so. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, we're right there. Right there at the end of the order one. Maybe try giving a little more fuel and a little more pumping. Two on the fuel. I'm going to add 1
What's the timing? 2 beat 0.02 lambda.
Yeah, 200 to the point.
Alright, see what that does for us. Yeah, I like that pretty good. Got a little bit of noise, a 5500 range. This almost like,
Alright, hang on. I need to review this one.
didn't see anything show up on there.
Yeah,
Looks like it wants to get main road a little quicker.
yeah.
So, alright, so I'm gonna put a little more fuel at it. Here. Let it more fun. Alright, why don't we back it off to 400 RPM per second, and I think this is going to be our buddy rock. But we've got it in a good spot. That's, and I say that. Let's compare the last two.
Okay.
There you go. Alright, that's what I need to see. All good.
Same settings.
Yep. No, let's go 600 or 400.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Alright, ready?
This is the one.
Yep.
Look good, sounded good.
Alright.
Survey says 503 power and 403 torque. I'd call that a win.
Yeah.
Great job, Philip.
Thank you. You too.
Ow. I forgot. Wait, Scott to go the other way.
Go. Coalition looks good. Looks good. Looks good. We don't see anything. Nothing spewing out on the ground. Okay. That's a win.
What?
That's a win.
That's a wrap.
Thanks.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us, for tuning in this supercharged 4.1 liter Slakker 997.1 engine.
Thank you guys. Join us again next time.
Sounds great.